Good morning, reefing fam. This is March, this is Fragbox TV. It is 5:30 in the morning right now, and we are on our way to the airport because we're gonna pick up some live clams. Alrighty, 3.5 hours later, we have cleared Canadian customs and we are back at the store. It's kind of weird, the lights are off. Maybe you guys have seen some of the other unboxing videos that I've done. But usually very strange hours when we're accepting corals and clams and stuff like this. Okay, let's check these things out. Before we go any further, coffee time. Where are you watching from? Comment in the comments below. Just curious to see what time it is over there and what part of the world. So cheers. If you've seen some of the other unboxing videos, you know that typically we get a bunch of boxes, like 12, 13, 14. This is one of the cool things about clams. One box, at least from this supplier. This is an ice pack because where they're coming from, they are hot. So we're trying to keep them cool. Is garbage. Okay, oh, look at this. Actually, this is a little different than the last time I ordered. So it looks like they are separated into 6 bags. So I've ordered in the past where it's literally just this one big bag wrapped, and then you'll have 30, 40, even 50 clams just inside one, kind of bouncing around. Light, looks pretty good. Let's open it up. These are all Maxima. Okay. So what am I looking for here? I want sort of cool water, not too hot. We don't want freezing cold. It's kind of hard with one hand, but I want to show you guys. Also, I don't want the water to smell, and I want it to be clear, sort of clear, just like that. So this is a pretty good sign. And I think in this one there's 5. Let's go ahead and take them out. Ta-da! Look at that. 5 beautiful Maxima clams. How do I know they're Maxima? Because I ordered them. And also from the shell. The shell we can tell they're Maxima clams. Just gently put them in here right now. And I'm going to actually link in the description how to keep these. So we did a video before on all the tips and tricks for keeping clams inside your aquarium. We cover Maxima, we cover Crocea, Derasa, and Squamosa, the 4 most popular ones we keep in the saltwater aquarium hobby. Oh, look at this. He's got 1 foot. He's attached there. Look. These 2 are buddy clams. We're gonna, to release the foot, what I do, this is sort of my trick, I haven't seen anyone else do it, I do this thing where I spin it. And I found that that will kind of break the foot without really damaging the clam. And the foot is really one of the most important parts of the clam because that's what allows it to anchor itself to the rock or to the base. And that's it. See, let's go. Gently, you can reattach, and I'm gonna show you one, where I'm sticking them. In the other video, we really cover placement, lighting, flow, feeding, everything to do with clams. So I would really recommend watching that one. It is a video that is a little less sidetracky and ADHD like most of ours. I put a lot more thought and time actually into that one. Okay, we're here in the basement because I just came down to grab my clam holders. Oh, look at this. Someone got me a label maker. Crap. Apologize in advance for the gurgling. This video has taught me that I really need to redo the plumbing on this tank because it's driving me nuts. Okay, that's my sidetrack. These are clam holders. So, what do we do with clam holders? We hold them. No, we use them in the tank to allow the clam to attach. Look at these guys. They're already opening up. They should be a really nice blue color if they look anything like the photos. So, I'm going to place his bum right there. That's the foot that's going to come out. And we can just nestle it, and healthy clams should attach before the end of today. He should really be attached to that. He wants to grab on. He doesn't want to flop over. I'm going to turn down the flow in this tank to give him a chance to attach. And why we do that is because getting the clam to attach is really the trickiest part. After they've attached, you're basically good. At least in my experience. So we offer them attached to these bases, and then when you bring it home, it's already attached to the foot. It's nice and happy. You'll see it open up in like 5-10 minutes, and then it's easy to kind of move around the tank. If it attaches its foot to your live rock, we really don't recommend removing it. It can be a little bit trickier. You can damage the foot. So that's why we offer these clam bases. If you don't buy it from us and you still want one, we do sell these on their own. They're on our website, fragbox.ca. If you're not in Canada, just shoot us an email. And we have different sizes and different colors, all made, handmade actually here by my friend Alejandro, who happens to make our frag plugs, all the frag plugs in the store, anything that's ceramic, he actually makes them all by hand. A couple more clam little feet here. I'm going to keep setting them up, and I'm just going to tell you about pests with clams. So there is a snail that can sometimes come on them. I'm not seeing any so far, but you do not dip clams like you would traditional, like corals. We absolutely do not dip them. Do not put them through Revive or anything like that. You're going to damage them. You're going to probably kill them. But the two things that I see, at least from this supplier, the snails are pretty uncommon, but they're very easy to see. You would just spot it right away, and they're easy to remove. So it's a really simple pest to deal with. Definitely do not go and throw the clam in the garbage if you find a pest. There's the foot kind of letting go on this one. The other one that I often see is Aptasia. So quite often it is not uncommon to find lots of Aptasia. I'm really happy to see on these ones, none. Oh, look at that. Thank you. Right in time for the channel. Look at that little snail. Now, I don't think that's it. I think that's a baby trochus, and it's not the kind of cone snail that I normally see that's eating them. But unfortunately, my rule is when in doubt, take it out. I'm fairly certain it's a baby trochus, so maybe I can just isolate it because I don't think it's nice to kill anything. When in doubt, take it out. Sorry, little snail. This is what I'm looking for. Moon snails. They're carnivorous. These will eat clams, so definitely take those off. Ah, this is it. Sorry for the photo bucket in the way, but you see these little grains of rice, and they're right around the mantle of the clam. That's what I'm looking for. Those are the ones I'm used to seeing. Really easy to pop off, but again, carnivorous. They sometimes look like Nacerius snails when they're bigger, but I think they're called whelks. But they look like little grains of rice, and it's not uncommon to see these either. So thankfully, none of those yet. I wouldn't mind seeing one just so I can show you guys. And they're just starting to open up, and I just realized my Mobius, again, is not behaving. Ecotech, love and fucking hate you guys. I'm sorry. This one, yeah, you know what? Let's not rant in this video. Hey, March, let's make this informative. Yeah, that sounds like fun. You can see the color there. These are really nice, and they are, for me, I'm gonna say for us, the perfect size. So if you've ever been to Texas, hello, if you're watching from Texas, what up? Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth area, everything's bigger in Texas, right? Well, it's the opposite here. Everything's smaller in Toronto. So I think I'm probably one of the only coral vendors, when I order from overseas, they know I'm actually looking for smaller. I want smaller Acanthophilias. Let me just grab a couple of clam holders. I want smaller Cynarinas, open brains. And why is that? Because I find that they're a lot easier to sell, they're less expensive, and our customers have small tanks. 12, 15, 20 gallons is a very common size, you know, even 30, 40 gallon. So I can get massive clams, 6 to 8 inches, huge. They're $400 to $600, but I sit on them for a long, long time. I can sell these small ones all day, because if you got, you know, maybe a fluval 13.5 gallon tank, this would make a really nice fit. They're about, let's see, thumb size, inch to 2.5 inches. And the nice thing about this size is that, hold on, let me open another one while I'm talking to you. The nice thing about this size is that they are photosynthetic. So when they're smaller, this is stuff that I cover in the other video. When they're really, really small, they need to be fed live phyto. So they're not able to photosynthesize yet. And then when they get to this size, they're able to eat live phyto, so you can supplement feeding, but also you don't have to feed them because they will, besides filter feeding, they can also consume the light, just like a coral does, or a plant. Something I've never seen. The bottoms of the bag are actually black, so maybe for light, but that doesn't really make sense because they're coming in a blacked out styrofoam container. Maybe you guys know. Why would the bottoms of the bags be covered with this black here? Let's see. Let's see if there's any smart trivia cookies out there. Clams, clams, clams. You know, it's funny selling these because I freaking love, I mean, go crazy for clam chowder. But I feel bad now saying that and thinking about that. I wonder if there's anyone watching from Pismo Beach, California, because that is one of the coolest places I've been on the coast, and the best clam chowder I think I've ever had in my life. So if you're from Pismo, what up? Oh, super responsive to light already. Opening up, that's one of the best signs. You wave your hand over them and they close. It's a really good sign. So if you're ever looking for a clam, you can do that little trick. just kind of wave your hand over, sort of like a Jedi, you know, like you shall not pass, except you're talking to clams. So do that, and if they close, that's a really good sign. Look at the foot. Again, look for pests. These are going to be available. I like to give stuff a little bit of time to sit, so 2 to 3 days, we'll see. So far, I'm not expecting any DOAs. The water is super clear. It took 2 days to get here, but that really isn't an issue for clams. They ship super well. And I'm also going to tell you, I don't like that I know this, but they are freshwater resistant. Now, I'm not saying if you have a freshwater tank you should buy a clam because it's most likely going to die, but I found out in a really strange way that these guys are resilient to fresh water. And it happened, damn, I think, did I do a video on it? I don't know. The channel's coming up on about 2 years, like seriously making videos, and we used to have a Red Sea Reefer 170 here in the store, and I'm a lot dumber than I look. I know that's hard to believe, but I once set up, I can't remember why, maybe the ATO failed, and I was running, sit nicely, Mr. Clam. Yeah, like that, sit in your chair. I put our RO line from our reverse osmosis directly into the tank, and I forgot to set a timer and I walked away. Actually, the tank used to be right here in the shop. This used to be a Red Sea Reefer 170 before Bulk Reef Supply took over, and we got the larger Red Sea Reefer 250. And so I left the freshwater line there into the tank and went home and completely forgot. So it's not a very big tank. It's 35 gallons, and that thing did 200 gallons a day. So when I came in the morning, my Red Sea Reefer 170 had become a freshwater tank. And because I've never kept freshwater, it was kind of cool. I had my first freshwater tank, which happened to be a saltwater tank only a day before. We had a couple 100 gallons of water all over the floor, and then I found out the floor slopes that way. That's another cool thing I learned. It goes down the stairs, and everything in that tank perished, except 2 things. We had a, what do you call those? Really goofy looking. I like asking questions as if someone out there can actually answer me. A mono. We had a mono that survived. And we also had, a Maxima clam. So when we came in and tested the salinity on the tank, it was like 1.005. It was essentially freshwater. And I didn't think anything was going to make it. So I took a couple zoas. You know what? Now that I think about it, a couple zoas survived. So we threw all the corals quickly into our coral beds here. And within an hour, this Maxima clam opened up. Like nothing happened. And I guess it's because they can close really, really, really tight and basically preserve, I don't know, the salt water inside. That's my theory. Hold on, I'm just going to turn off the flow again as I give you my nonsense little story. If you're watching this far, you must be a super fan and you must like my little sidetracks about freshwater clams. But I thought that was kind of cool. Like, unfortunate that I lost everything. I set timers for everything in the store. Never leave your RO going into the sump. You think you're going to remember, it's just going to be that one moment somebody calls your name, dinner's ready or something, your phone goes off, you're on Instagram, I don't know what it's going to be, but it just takes a split second, you forget it, and then learn from me. Do as I say, don't do as I do, as I always say. But yeah, the clams survived even though the tank was fresh, so that was kind of cool. I think we got 30 of these in total. I kind of wish I ordered more now that I'm looking at them. They look really good and I'm really impressed. I don't know what the guy's doing differently overseas, but I've never got a shipment of these and not had an Aptasia. They're super clean. Typically, I'm going through with some Aptasia X or a toothbrush and just kind of plucking them off. We keep peppermint shrimp in all of our tanks, and we also keep grasses. We keep a lot of pest control just for natural predation, but not a single Aptasia, which makes me really glad. I'd really like to get some Durasas from ORA. This supplier also has Durasa clams, but does not have CITES right now. So 60% of our viewers here on the channel are in the United States. Another 12% are in the United Kingdom. What up, Reefing Fram, United Kingdom? If you're watching this from out there and you know Paul at Advanced Aquarium Consultancy. You can tell him March said he's a wanker. You can tell him that specifically. You can even just play him this part of the video. But, oh, maybe I can show you. This is the reason why it's very tricky. Everyone's always asking to please send to the States. You need one of these. This is a CITES, Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species. So every single coral needs to be, if it's going to get exported, you can see here it says Trinidacna Maxima, fluted clam, live, 30 pieces. So you need this paperwork. You need a CITES in order to, for let's say I was going to ship to you in wherever you live, Colorado, New York, Orlando, you name it. You need that paperwork, which is expensive. You need it for each individual piece. So let's say you wanted to order 10 different colonies. You can't just put coral. You would need to put the exact species name on there, and you would also need to have a permit with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. So you need to have a business. Oh, you know what? No, sorry. I think you could do it as personal, but you would have to order a lot because that permit alone, every time you export, I think it's about $500 US. So just to give you an idea, you know, if you're going to order $100 or $200 worth of coral, it wouldn't really make sense because you're going to spend $500 on that permit. Plus you'd have to pay for the CITES, what I just showed you. Plus you'd have to pay for shipping. So if we send it with, you know, an airline, just for an example, that box that came from overseas, I think we paid $1,500 to ship just that box because it's got to come quick. These things aren't going to survive a long time. So you have permits, you got to know how to import them, you need the CITES, and you also need to pay for shipping. So these three things, they add up. So unless you're ordering, I think somewhere between, it's got to be maybe, I want to say $4,000 to $5,000 US, it's really not going to be worth it. So yeah, it's a lot of hassle. So order one colony or one frag, it's just not going to happen. The numbers just don't make sense. We have quite a few customers that drive up here from the States, pick up corals, and then drive them back. Again, you do still need the permits. A lot of people just do not declare it. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't. Once you pick it up and leave the store and you want to drive it across, that's up to you. We have people do it all the time. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what customers do. So I think these are the last ones here. Oh no, we got a couple more. I hope you're enjoying my little side stories and my points of view and shaky camera. One day, in another life, I might get a gimbal, but in this one, I think it adds to the channel, you know? It's like our style. It's like home movie like. It's You're watching everything from the viewpoint of March. This is exactly what I'm seeing, and my voice is coming through your speakers while you're probably at work and should be doing your job. Nah, that's okay. Work is for workers. We're reefers. You just tune into this channel, and that's the most important. This is really satisfying, actually. Now that I think about it, look at it, just like an army of little blue clams, and I'm gonna add them to the site with WYSIWYG, WYSIWYG. Is that right? Because I find that when I do that, we happen to sell a lot more. Not just clams, stuff in general. You know, I just came back from Reefapalooza there in Orlando, and I saw a lot of clams. So they are available in the US. If you look for them, they are really not that hard to find because they are being cultured down there, which is great. I believe, no, I know that ORA is culturing them, and there are quite a few companies. So that'd be something cool to learn, actually. I have no idea how to breed or farm or grow clams. That would be something really neat. Okay, these are the final ones here, and they're looking really good now that they're starting to open up. Oh, if you are here from Canada and close to the Niagara region, we're going to be at that show coming up next weekend, the Niagara Coral Show. We're going to come with our reef casa tanks to kind of show them off and talk to people. But we won't have any for sale. That's why I'm giving a long exhale there, because I knew they were going to be popular. I didn't know they were going to be this popular. We're basically virtually sold out of every model right now, and we're expecting a container to come hopefully in the next 30 to 40 days from overseas. But yeah, more or less just sold out. I think we have a couple of the 12 gallons left, and that's it. So thank you to everyone who's joined the Reef Casa family. I mean, the first 300 of you who've picked up a tank. That's freaking awesome. Oh, did I see it? I think I found it. No, it was just the light. I thought I saw first little Aptasia, which are really not that hard to deal with. But something that I learned from the late Jake Adams is that you learn to manage them. You don't truly ever beat them. It just becomes part of the hobby. And that's something he mentioned in the video. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That is so true. That is so right. You use peppermint shrimp, Bergia nudibranches, copper band butterflies, manual removal. We actually grow some Bergia over here. This is our little Bergia farm. Oh, whoa! That's a big one. Holy shite! That might be the biggest Bergia I've ever seen. Look at that. He's like over an inch. These things are so easy to grow. I want to show you something. Check out the filtration and lighting and flow we have on this. There's nothing. It's literally a sitting, custom-made thing that holds salt water. They need nothing. We throw in Aptasia as we find them. And right there on the wall, on the left, you see that little, I'm trying to zoom in on it, but it's tricky. That's eggs, so there's a couple hundred there. They breed really, really, really quick. So if you're looking to deal with Aptasia, grab one or two, they'll start to breed. And then unfortunately, they eat it all, and then that's it. They die because that's all they eat is Aptasia. But if you want to grow some at home, like look how easy this setup is. It's basically a cup. You could use your mug at home. It's basically just standing still. There's no heater. I use this for evaporation. We do a water change on it like every 2-3 weeks. I just scoop out all new salt water from one of the tanks. No filtration, no carbon, no nothing. They really need absolutely nothing. So those are Bergia nudibranch. Nudibranch. I didn't say nudibranch. It's called Chato, and it's called a nudibranch. CH in English blah, 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 is ch, and we're out of clams, so I guess that means we're out of time, which I guess means we're gonna wrap up this episode of Fragbox TV. I will hey, what are you doing? Are you drunk? Drunk clam. Where did that saying come from? From this one right here, because he's drunk. I'm gonna just hover. Please sit nicely so we can do our exit and let these people go back to work instead of watching Fragbox TV. They came in really nice. Look, almost all open immediately. I expect no DOAs on these ones. I would be very surprised if even one did not make it. The water was perfect. You guys were perfect. You were here for almost the entire ride. Look at the colors, the patterns. Very nice little Maxima clams. They're going to go up on the site soon. If you want to reserve one, maybe you saw one in the video that really speaks to you. I don't know. Let me know. You can shoot us an email. It's fragboxcorals@gmail.com. If we don't answer you and you've asked us questions in the past, we do try our best. I have to tell you, we get around 200, 250 emails a day. So we try first to prioritize people that have placed an order with us. You know, they're looking for order support. Can I add this side, something like that. Second, potential customers here in Canada. Hi, I'd like a shipping quote or something like that. And then when we have time, we start to get into all the YouTube questions. Can you help me? My torch coral, this or that. My wife doesn't like the hobby. Do you know any good divorce lawyers? Stuff like that, you know? So unfortunately, those are at the bottom. They do get filtered through. They are at the bottom, but we do try our best to respond to everyone. I try my best to respond to people too. So just bear with us. We will get to you. But if you see one here that you really like, you can always let us know. Again, the email is fragbox, because that's what we are here, fragboxcorals@gmail.com. Again, comment below. Where are you watching from? And what time is it? Because I'm just curious to see where all of our reefing fam is from. I will leave you with these beautiful clams and tell you to have a very nice afternoon or morning or day or whatever, and goodbye for now.